Okay, so for the second day, remember to add opening the bank, handing them their journals with their character cards, and if you want to do potions on that second day, you can. I don't normally integrate potions until further on down the road, but I wanted to offer doing potions on that day so we could be there to support you with that. It's totally up to you. Potions, just the act of making the potions and that kind of stuff. Um, the first day, I would just have them pre-made and they show up and the potions are there. But then eventually, I would, if I were you, hire a child to do it for you. And so you set them up with their little system of boiled water and then ice cubes or cold water, and then the third container to put the mixture in and be in charge of that. It eats up more time. It's really good to do at the very beginning of the day. So as soon as that child arrives, that's what they're on. That's their whole focus. You can even get a couple of kids sort of helping with that. And that the bank is open at the same time. And you could say the bank is open for 5 minutes. So the act of having the bank open for 5 minutes is that all the kids can take their loot out, but you have a maximum, what's it called when you take money out of a bank? Withdrawal. Maximum withdrawal of 200 yen per day, which means you need to have 200 times 15 plus that in your bank. So you need quite a bit for your group of kids. Plus you as adults, the adults need loot in their pockets too. So you gotta start thinking about your numbers here. And then the quest that you put in the snail box, make it very similar to the one before, but with a bit of a different angle on it, because now they understand the mechanism of play. Now you can get a little bit more creative. But if you don't want to, or you can't, just do another one exactly like before in different places. It's okay to get away with that for like the first 3 or 4 times, and then they'll eventually kind of want something new to happen. But the first couple of times it's totally fine to be the same. Not the exact same, but very similar. And then monster training, what we're going to do is the purpose of monster training is to put them through what I put you through so that they understand how intense it can get. And the kids can decide how they want to engage. Some of the kids are going to want to be right up there with their swords and attacking. Some of the kids want to be spellcasters, and some of the kids will want to be healers, which means they don't even want to engage. So you have to find reasons and ways for them to engage externally, which is why I invented this. I brought in this other game, which you might recognize. It's called Wildcraft. And this is for all those kiddos that don't want to be attacking. And so there's all these ailments. And so we have these waterproof cards for all the healers. So let me know if you're interested in that, because that's another option on the side as well. So I can explain that if you're interested. So you want to try to find something to do with the healers in the group so that they're ready to heal, but you have to teach everyone how the healers integrate with the fighters, because if you don't show them how that has to happen and why it has to happen, then they won't understand how to take that on. So the example is everyone has 10 HP when they first start. So in their character sheet, they can write the number 10 on the heart. HP is heart points. It's pretty much your life force. So when they're monstering and they have 10 HP, if they get hit 10 times, just to keep it simple, if they get hit 10 times, then they're going to die. And if they die, they either lay down on the ground or they put their sword down on the ground to model where they are. And if they're kind of high energy kiddos, if they're walking around and they become spirits, then they can't speak to other people, they can't touch anybody, they can't do anything, but they can move around, but they can't interrupt them. And same is the other way around. The people can't see where the spirit is. They don't know where they are, they can't talk to them. Nobody has the skill to talk to ghosts yet. So when that interaction is happening, the healers can come over to where the body is supposed to be, and then the body needs to come and be where the body is supposed to be. And the healer can go through a healing process that feels good to them. So let's say they have a potion and they sprinkle it near the body, and then they say abracadabra, and they then you pull out the dice and you roll the dice to see how good their healing job was. The way to make it better and higher chances of winning is you get them to roll a 6-sided dice, and you say, if you get a 2 or higher, then it worked. So they have a 5 out of 6 chance of getting a yes, if that makes sense. So if you get a 2 or higher on a 6-sided dice, then your healing worked. So with the monster training, you do what we did in the forest, where you model a monster. And I do recommend you actually pick a being that is likely going to attack and not the blob yet. The blob is great, but it's more of a mental thinking experience rather than the basics of how to interact with a combatant creature. So, like how I modeled, I would stand there ready to attack, and then if anybody got close to me, then I would go up and I would start swinging at them, and the kids would either run away or not. But I want to name that the place that you took me to, I would not do monster training down there. The footing there is too potential of a sprained ankle. They got to get really clear with how to do swordplay at an intense level on flat ground. So do it up in the field, and name that you're at a basic level, and notice that you're all on flat field. So if we were to go and have a monster encounter in the forest, what's it like under our feet? What could we trip on things, and what are you going to do to prevent that? And how do you become more aware around your body as you're fighting? So just creating that awareness there. I am more than happy to be involved in this at the level of being a monster or offering nuggets of wisdom and all that. So yeah, that's your monster training. And then after the find yourself, which we'll use the other footage to cover that, remind you of the training for that game, then I would do a bit of like a quest experience that I call being a cartographer. So a cartographer is somebody who draws maps. So now they have their journal and they have a pencil. And the reason you do it in pencil is because if it rains, then it doesn't make the ink run. And this is where they can start drawing a map and giving names of the landscape. So it's no longer the field. It could be, the field of death or something ridiculous. Or in the forest, it could be like the tall tree hollow, or like let them come up with the names of the places. So everybody gets to draw their map. It doesn't need to look perfect at all, but start giving it names, and then start referring to each other's maps and decide out of all of their information what's going to be the main single map that everybody uses. And then once that's drawn, you photocopy it and give it to them so that it's on an 8.5 by 11, and you glue it into their book so that everybody has the same basic map concept, and they can start writing the names of things or putting magical tree houses or monster encounters or anything they want on that map. Orienting to the land with a map is really fun. So I would encourage you to have a compass or 5 with your group to help them orient to the land and do that mapping and create a magical map for this new World of Wildcraft play that you're crafting. And then it gets back into the accounting, same as the first day, same. And yeah, that'll be it. I look forward to our grand adventure. Hope this was helpful.